If you've been following me long enough, you probably know that I've been trying to break into the world of fiction writing and, more importantly, into the world of Kindle Vella as part of my launch into fiction writing, if you will. Now, I'm severely delayed at this point for various production reasons and also, prioritizing the time to sit down and read and write. And that's what made me stumble over an incredible creator known as Gage Greenwood. And Gage actually has a YouTube channel where he has interviewed a number of Kindle Vella authors that are currently publishing, have published, or even successful at publishing over on Kindle Vella. The likes of Jeannie DeVita, aka Callie Chase, Audrey Carlin, and so many more. But I really wanted to sit down, have a conversation with him about the Kindle Vella platform, his thoughts about it, also about writing and beyond, and also find out how he's a serial entrepreneur. The man does everything, like escape house, escape rooms. Like, what? Dude, come on, man. So at any rate, without further ado, let's get on into the interview. Actor, comedian, podcaster, YouTuber, and the VP of an escape room company. Man, is there anything you don't do? And did we just become best friends?
There's nothing I won't try, at least anyway.
Yeah. Which of those specific things, what do you enjoy most?
Oh well, I enjoy the writing
Yeah.
now. I miss stand-up comedy sometimes. That was a lot of fun, but it was a hectic life being a stand-up
Yeah.
comic. Now with a 5-year-old, I don't want to be up till 2 in the morning every night.
Oh, yeah. It's not too conducive for family lifestyle, I imagine.
It's not. Yeah, no, definitely
Gotcha.
not.
Yeah, I'd stumbled over your YouTube channel as we kind of discussed before we, got to recording and such, just because I do a lot of research through YouTube and I try to figure out, okay, what are people looking for? What's really striking a chord with viewers? I go through and I watch the video. I'll typically look through the comments. I'll see what people are saying. And I stumbled over your channel and I instantly became a Gagent. I'm little bit of an inside thing you only know if you go and subscribe. All right, so
That's right.
but the thing that obviously led me to you is Kindle Vella. What led you to Kindle Vella? What did you find the most appealing about it?
Yeah, so I decided in October I was going to start publishing. I've been writing for years, and I did a little publishing about 10 years ago, but kind of got put on the back burner. And so in October I started publishing, and then a friend of mine posted that she had a story on Vela, and I messaged her with like, "What is Vela?" And she said it was a serialized market that Amazon's doing, and I had a novel that I had worked on the year before that I just never could figure out how to put it out in novel form. It didn't fit that format, and
Yeah.
it was something that I figured would go for a very long time. So it was perfect for it. So I just dove right in, like 2 days after she told me about it.
Interesting. So you originally were planning to release a full-length novel, but then you broke it up into Kindle Vella. Now, which of those? Yeah, because I know you have two series. Which of those was the one that you had broke up first?
Winter's Myths.
Okay, so that's the top faved one that's on really, kicking butt and taking names, which congratulations on that.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm surprised how well it's doing, but yeah, it's great. That's
Really.
the feedback
So
I've been getting.
what specific aspects did you like most about Kindle Vella? What was the thing like you said, okay, this is it, as opposed to let me go full length novel?
I've always wrote in a sort of fast-paced, shorter chapter style. I always liked big cliffhangers at the end, and that just fits so well in with the Vela format.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, putting it out I set myself a goal to do 3 episodes a week,
Mm-hmm.
and that just got me pumping out words more than I had been doing previously,
Hmm.
and sort of helped me train my schedule a little better on the writing. So
Nice. So you were able to churn out more words knowing the direction that it was going as opposed to looking at a novel going, "Oh my gosh, it's Mount Everest. How am I ever going to be able to climb this?"
right, yeah, and then with the immediate reader feedback and knowing people are checking out the series, I can't let them down. I have to produce the content
Yeah.
that I'm
It's
telling them I'm going to do.
Yeah, it's kind of you put yourself into a position that you have a little bit of pressure and you've got to deliver on a regular basis. Where are you finding your reader feedback? Are you getting it through, say, your YouTube videos or through like reviews or email marketing? How's that working?
Mostly from social media. People just message me and say they really like it, and it's been crazy how many people I started off with. All right, my friends and family are going to be checking this series out, and that's who I'll hear from.
Yeah.
But then I'll just get this person on Twitter who tweets about my series, and I'm like, whoa, that's so cool. I don't know who you are.
Really? So have you made some new friends since launching your Kindle Vella series?
Oh yeah, a ton, a ton. A lot of author friends too. Just the community is so welcoming and really awesome. I know me and you both know Callie. I became friends with her very quickly, and I've just met a lot of really awesome people in that community. But then yeah, a bunch of new readers too who just messaged me, and I didn't have to draw them in with Facebook ads.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. We've talked about some of the things that you like the most. Now it's time to be a little transparent. I'm going to ask you, what
All right.
aspects do you like least about Kindle Vella right now that you think could probably be improved on?
I don't like the amount of stuff you have to throw at new readers to educate them on the platform.
Ooh.
Um, I want to tell readers I have a series on this. If you're interested, go check it out.
Mhm.
But then there's likes and faves and you know 3 episodes free. Then you have to unlock with tokens, but Amazon's going to give you a bunch of free tokens to start. It's just a lot to train them on. I understand most of it. I wish they would get rid of the faves, but I guess I like the visibility it's given me, so I can't complain.
Right, right, yeah. So I'm sure there's probably somebody listening to this like cursing it. I don't have Fave, and I've been on here for a while. When did you launch your first series then?
It was like October 28th or 6th. It was the very, very tail end of October. I put
Okay.
up 6 episodes. Or
Wow.
four,
So
four episodes to
you
start.
launched with a good seed amount of episodes, and then what was your frequency of publishing thereafter?
And then I've done 3 episodes a week since.
Wow, you're a
Sunday,
maniac.
Tuesday, Thursday. Yeah, now I got a second one. So
Right, right. And I definitely want to tap into that. And I think it's a perfect segue because, you're becoming prolific rather fast. And wow, I'm looking at this and I'm going, because, I'm new to fiction and I'm going to be making this massive pivot to Kindle Vella here by summertime. And I look at something like yours and I'm like, oh my gosh, that seems so overwhelming. So your series Winter's Myths is one of the top fave Kindle Vella series. That was the one we originally talked about. And you also have a new series called A Glass World. How in the heck do you juggle both series? Is it the same workload for A Glass World as it is for Winter's Myths, where you're doing 3 episodes per week?
no, with that one, I thought about doing that, but I knew I wouldn't be able to carry all that weight, especially I'm doing the YouTube videos as well. There's just a lot of work that goes into all that stuff. So I'm only doing that one once a week. I launched with 6 episodes for that, and then I'm just doing one a week for it. And I wrote ahead of time on that one. Winter's Myths, I'm like sometimes pumping out the words the day before I'm going to be releasing it. But with this one, whenever I had free time, I wrote. So I'm like, I think I'm up to episode 20 that I've written, but only 7 are out right now. So I've got like a couple months ahead on that one.
Nice. Do you see the same success for A Glass World as what you are currently experiencing with Winter's Myths?
Yes and no. Winter's Mist probably started off about the same rate that Glass
Okay.
World has right now. But I'm not. I'm also not pushing it as hard because Kindle Vella has those faves, and your readers only have one per week,
Ooh.
and I don't want to split them up. So I mean I talk about it, and I'll post that there's a new episode of it, but I'm way more into to advertising Winter's Myths.
Got you. Now, as
Because
far as
that one's a success already. So the other one I just
yeah,
know. Yeah.
yeah, and anybody that's not familiar with the whole Kindle Vella system, could you explain to them what the heck is the difference between a fave and a like and all that type stuff?
Yeah, so as I was saying, this is where it gets really difficult on educating the reader. So you
Yeah.
go into Kindle Vella, the first three episodes are free, then you have to unlock them with coins that you can buy in bundles. But Amazon does give you between 200 and 500 free to start, so you get to read quite a few episodes without paying a dime. But after you read each episode, at the bottom, there's a little thumb up that you can give to each episode if you like it. So those are your likes, and those just, you get to pretty much brag. I got 2,000 likes on my story. And then there's faves, which once you've bought tokens, you can't just do it with the free tokens. You have to have purchased tokens.
Hmm.
When you unlock an episode, it will ask you to pick your favorite series of the week, and it will list all of the ones that you've read. And you can do that once a week. Once a week, you can choose your favorite, and the stories that have the most favorites show up in the top 250 on the platform.
Okay. What's I had the experience of speaking with Audrey Carlin, who's like the number one top faved Kindle Vella author since July when it had launched.
Yeah,
It's pretty
she
amazing.
has more likes than everybody combined.
Right, exactly. So it brings me to kind of discussing it with you because obviously this is something that was brand new to you. You didn't really have. Am I speaking out of turn saying that you didn't really have like a built-in following like say Audrey had that was able to bring it over there? So what was your secret to becoming a top faved Kindle Vella author? I understand good writing is probably going to be one of those things. You know, you're not going to have poor writing and be a top faved Kindle Vella author.
I hope not.
Right, right.
um, Yeah, so I went in with a $0 budget. I had it was my family talked about it when I started writing that whatever I made from writing I could reinvest in it, but to start out I couldn't afford anything, so I had to make my own cover and do all those kind of things. Um, so I first went to my family and friends, which garnered me very little, but it got me a little bit.
I can relate.
And then I really went to the author platforms, and with my YouTube channel, I really focused on the Vela, and I just wanted to be like a positive, and, positive presence in the community, and that in turn kind of got me promoted through other people, sort of.
Mm.
Having Audrey on my show gives me some visibility. Then she's posting about my series on her platforms. Um, just helping out other authors makes them say like, "Hey, these are the series that I've checked out recently, and they're going to check mine out because I've been helpful to them." And I didn't do those things for that reason, but just becoming part of the community, I think, really helped me get a big boost in the early stages. And then from those early stages, I got the visibility that when new readers came to the platform, they kind of stumbled on my series.
So let me see if I can understand this. You essentially are networking with other professionals within the space. And by networking with them, you have that exposure to their audience and able to leverage that attention.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
And also just learning from them, having Audrey on the show and
Okay.
Callie on the show, who were already successful. I got to pick their brains and find out the things that they were doing and the way that they approached readers with, you know, educating them on the platform and things like that. So I was able to carry over a lot of what I learned just by talking to people.
Nice. This is where I think it would be awesome to get Virginia Milner, the head of Kindle Vella, with you because hopefully it will give you even more information. So that was a shameless plug. Virginia, you're watching or listening to this. Get with my boy Gage here. Become a Gagent today. You've been very public about your experience with Kindle Vella over on your YouTube channel, and you share some confusion over the bonus system. The bonus system, I think, is a confusing point for everybody. And even when Virginia was pressed to explain the system, it made sense, but it was still rather, I don't know, arbitrary, like the number that's being done. So with that confusion, I have a question is, have you been able to figure out how much you're paid for whatever actions they are?
Not really. I've seen my first month I posted at the end of October, and I got very little reads because it was literally the last couple days of the month,
Yeah.
and I got what I would consider a sizable bonus for that, just for publishing. So there is like a base amount that they're giving you just to put out material, and then after that, my bonus has stayed fairly steady, but my reads and my unlocks and those kind of things have fluctuated. So I can't really understand why mine's not changing very much. And then I see people on the platform talking about, I mean, on the author pages talking about my reads doubled, but my bonus didn't double, you know, and there's no real like figuring it out entirely. I do think that you have to look at it less in terms of competition with yourself. It doesn't really matter if you improved your amount of reads from last month in terms of the bonus. It matters how much of the pie you got of those readers. So if you had 100 reads in December and 200 in January, but somebody else had 1,000 in December and 2,000 in January, your bonus isn't going to double. Theirs is going to get the bigger piece of that pie.
Interesting. So even though you might have the best month ever, in comparison to other Vela authors, it might be substantially lower, hence why your piece of the pie is much smaller in a given month.
Yeah, that's what I think I'm seeing, because my reads have gone down in some months by like 300, and the change wasn't that dramatic because I was still getting a substantial amount. And then you look at people like Audrey, who we're talking about, and she's getting probably what I get in a month every day. So she's going to land a bigger piece of that pie because she's you know, she's the top of she's the platform. She's the face of the platform right now.
Yeah.
And she deserves that, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Do you have any theories? Are there any specific actions that would result in more reads for a larger monthly bonus?
In terms
Theories
of like
here.
getting more reads.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, the cliffhangers and I think short episodes are I think better for newer authors. I think if you're an established author like Audrey, you can really test the limits of how long your episodes are.
Yeah.
But for new authors, where people are really going to be just giving you a chance for the first time, if they have to spend less tokens on your episodes, they're going to be more inclined to click to that next one and draw that out. I had like in January, there was a really big influx of new readers for everybody. Everyone was talking about it. It was because they opened up to the Android apps finally. And so I had a ton of new readers, but I didn't have a ton of unlocked episodes. So it was people kind of just skimming through different series and reading those first free ones. But then in February, I had almost no new readers, but I had a ton of people who had started the series do these like binges, and those binges sort of like saved me on some days where I had really low reads, but I just had one person who read 30 episodes and just, you know, kept me afloat for the month. So I think really having those cliffhangers and those reasons for people to come back to it. And I think don't get disappointed if you don't see that initially, because some of those people probably read my series like in December and just went back to it in February.
Yeah, that makes sense. And see, I'm a fan of Kindle Vella, not just as an author, but as a reader. I do go through spurts where I'll sit down and read a ton of Callie Chase's Bug. And I just love to just kind of go one after the other because they are so short. When you say short, I know that we have the limitation of 600 words up to 5,000 words. Do you find there's like a sweet spot for your definition of short?
Yeah, I think between 1,000 and 2,000 is a really good spot, especially for newer authors. Like I said, if you're Audrey Carlin, I think she said her sweet spot is 28 to 3,200. So she goes a little bit higher. I like to stay between 1 and 2. I have a couple episodes that are around the 600 length, but I also feel like sometimes too low might seem like the reader would say, there's not enough content there, you know? So I think 1,000 to 2,000 is the sweet spot.
Interesting. This is really, really cool to learn because as I'm kind of building out my own series, you know, I'm working with our mutual friend in Callie Chase, and we're having to engineer this word count and try to be very mindful of it because I heard, and I'm not sure if you can confirm this fact, that if you're set to doing, say, 2,000 words on an episode and you happen to veer north of that, let's say 3,000, that some readers actually get a little bit upset. Like they like thinking that you're just trying to gouge them. You're purposely padding your word count. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that can certainly happen. I think that as you're making your episodes, it's important to set the expectation. So if they know an episode is around 15 to 20 tokens, and then all of a sudden they start turning to 40 tokens, they're going to be like, wait a minute, you know? So I if you do write higher amount of words from the start, I would say keep it at whatever level you're writing at. I think the consistency is more important than the actual word count.
Got you. So has there ever been an instance where you're like a runaway train? You're just churning out the words and you get above that 2,000 word mark. Are you having to go in and take pieces out that you would normally want to kind of keep in?
A little bit, but I don't stress too much about it as long as
Okay.
it's not like a mainstay. If I have one episode that's sort of an anomaly, I don't think that's as big of a problem. But if all of a sudden there's like 3 or 4 episodes that kind of are hitting those marks, that's where I think it would start to bother the reader. I think the more important thing is the cliffhangers, though. I would really focus on those.
Okay. Good stuff. All right. Hey, as we start to wrap up today's podcast, I always like to ask my guests this. What's one piece of advice you can share with aspiring authors and self-publishers?
Especially in self-publishing, writing is one job, self-publishing is 15. So you may not enjoy some of the marketing aspects of it and the things you have to do, but it's part of the job. It's just something you got to do. My buddy owns a business and he doesn't like cleaning the bathrooms, but he does it. You know, you got to take care of your business and you got to do all of that, all the different aspects of it. Even using TikTok if you got to do it.
Big shout out over to Gage. Folks, go become a Gageant of Chaos today when you visit him over on YouTube, Gage Greenwood. Just search it on up there, Gage. Gage is just a delightful individual, super smart. I'm really looking forward to seeing what his career is going to look like over the next 5 to 10 years as a horror/dystopian writer. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this content, please share it with somebody else who would enjoy it too as well. And also stay tuned because very next week, I'm actually going to have an exclusive interview with the dark humor comedian and prolific video creator over on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. His name is Brad Goss, and you are not going to want to miss out on that episode. It is a riot. I will see you then.